Marcus Chen had always been a creature of habit. His daily patrol route through Sector 7 of the mining colony never varied. Check the perimeter sensors, inspect the automated extractors, and ensure no wildlife had wandered too close to the plasma barriers. It was mundane work, but it paid well enough to keep him fed and housed on this godforsaken rock at the edge of human space. That Tuesday started like any other until he heard the screaming. The sound cut through the thin atmosphere like a blade, high-pitched and desperate. Marcus grabbed his plasma rifle and followed the noise beyond the safety perimeter, where company regulations strictly forbade any personnel from venturing. What he found there would change everything. Trapped beneath a massive boulder, pinned at an awkward angle that spoke of a recent rock slide, was a creature unlike anything in the xenobiology textbooks. She, and Marcus somehow knew instinctively it was female, stood roughly 7 feet tall with elongated limbs covered in what appeared to be natural armor plating. Her skin shimmered with an opalescent quality that shifted from deep purple to silver, depending on the angle of Kepler 442b's twin suns. Most striking were her eyes, large, multifaceted like a dragonfly's but filled with an intelligence that was unmistakably sentient. "Help me!" The words came out distorted as if spoken through water, but they were clearly in standard English. Marcus lowered his weapon. Company protocol demanded he report any alien contact immediately, but something about the creature's desperate situation overrode his conditioning. He activated his suit's mechanical assists and began working to shift the boulder. "Don't move too much," he grunted, straining against the massive rock. "I'm going to get you out of there." The alien woman watched him with those mesmerizing compound eyes as he worked. After 20 minutes of careful maneuvering and the judicious use of his plasma cutter on the rock's weak points, Marcus managed to create enough space for her to pull her trapped leg free. She stood slowly, testing her weight. A low musical sound emanated from her throat, gratitude perhaps, or relief. When she looked at Marcus again, something had changed in her expression. "Why?" she asked, her voice clearer now, though still carrying that liquid quality. "Because you needed help," Marcus replied simply. "Can you make it back to wherever you came from?" The alien woman nodded, then did something unexpected. She reached into what appeared to be a natural pouch in her armor plating and withdrew a small crystalline object. She pressed it into Marcus's gloved hand. "For later," she said cryptically, then bounded away with surprising grace across the rocky terrain, disappearing into the maze of canyons that honeycombed this part of the planet. Marcus stared at the crystal in his palm. It was warm to the touch even through his gloves and seemed to pulse with an internal light. He tucked it away in his equipment pack and headed back to the colony, deciding to file a standard "no anomalies detected" report rather than explain his encounter. The next day began with alarms. "All personnel to emergency stations," came the announcement over the colony's communication system. "Multiple unknown contacts approaching the settlement." "This is not a drill." Marcus rushed to the command center where Colony Administrator Walsh was staring at the tactical display with barely controlled panic. Dozens of ships, sleek, organic-looking vessels that seemed grown rather than built, were descending from orbit. "Sir," reported Sensor Technician Patel, "they're not responding to any communication attempts and our weapon systems they're just shutting down. Everything electronic is going offline." Through the viewport, Marcus could see the alien ships landing in perfect formation around the colony's perimeter. They were beautiful and terrifying in equal measure, their hulls shifting with the same opalescent quality as the woman's skin. "We're defensed," whispered Walsh. 300 colonists and we can't even charge a pulse pistol." That's when Marcus felt the crystal in his pocket grow warm. The alien woman appeared at the colony's main entrance as if she had materialized from thin air. She moved with purpose, walking directly toward the command center while the colonists watched in stunned silence. Behind her, dozens of her people emerged from their ships, tall, graceful beings who moved like living art. When she reached the command center, her multifaceted eyes found Marcus immediately. "You showed mercy to one who was helpless," she said, her voice now carrying clearly through the room's communication system without any technological assistance. "This is not common among the species we have encountered in this region of space." Administrator Walsh stepped forward, clearly trying to maintain some semblance of authority. "What do you want with our colony?" The alien woman turned her attention to him briefly, then back to Marcus. "We are the Vithari. We have been observing your kind since you arrived in our territory. Most of your species take what they need without thought for consequence. They see only resource and opportunity. She paused. But yesterday one of you chose compassion over protocol. Marcus felt every eye in the room focus on him. The crystal in his pocket was now warm enough to feel through his uniform. The gift I gave you, the alien woman continued, was a translation matrix. It has been analyzing your neural patterns, learning your language, understanding your intent. Through it, we have seen your memories of the moment you chose to help rather than report, risk rather than profit. She gestured, and one of her companions brought forward a container that seemed to be made of the same organic material as their ships. Humanity's reputation in this sector is problematic. But you have shown us that individual choice can transcend species tendencies. In recognition of this, we offer a gift to your colony. She opened the container, revealing what looked like seeds, but seeds that glowed with soft, steady light. These are zephyr seeds. They will grow anywhere, require no water, and produce fruit that can sustain human life indefinitely. They also generate atmospheric processors that will terraform this world over the course of a decade, making it fully habitable without artificial support. The room was silent except for the hum of life support systems. Why? Marcus asked, echoing her question from the day before. The alien woman's compound eyes seemed to sparkle with what might have been amusement. Because sometimes young species need time to grow into their better nature. Consider this an investment in humanity's potential. She turned to leave, then paused. The crystal you carry will continue to function. Should your people ever need to contact us, it will serve as a communication device. Use it wisely. As quickly as they had arrived, the Vithari departed, leaving behind only the container of seeds and a colony of humans who had just received the most precious gift imaginable. A second chance. Marcus pulled the crystal from his pocket and watched it pulse with gentle light. In its faceted surface, he could swear he saw his own reflection looking back. But somehow it looked more like the person he wanted to be rather than the person he was. Sometimes, he reflected, the smallest acts of kindness can reshape entire worlds.